Hola, amigos. Hola. Well, nobody's here. It's because you normally start at 10:35 because I'm always late. But I'm not late today. So I guess I'll just wait for you. Oh, look at that. Elijah's first, Rachel second. Look at you guys. You guys popped on quickly. Nice. So guys, I'll say it again when people pop on, but hey guys, Pastor O'Shea's hosting downstairs today. So I'm going to at least do the beginning part of church with you guys. And then O'Shea might jump in. It depends. He might not, might. Oh my gosh, y'all pop off in this chat. It's been 51 seconds and you guys are just like, bam, like in the chat. It's crazy. Hey guys, hi Jai, hi Malachi, hi Molly, Tamara, Evangeline. Hey guys. Woo. Y'all are popping off. Okay, so before we start, I know what you guys are talking about. And it's awkward. Today we're going to be talking about dating. Yeah, dating. So I feel like you guys got sex out of the way. I'm not as awkward as Pastor O'Shea, so I don't really mind talking about this stuff. So it's going to be you guys that are awkward and not me. I'm like, sex, dating, relationships, let's do it. But what I recognize, and I was talking to Pastor O'Shea about this week, and we're like, this is number one, it's tricky, and it's even more tricky to do online because you're like, if I have a question, am I going to post it online for everybody to see what? So I have a solution. I want you guys to, I'm going to send in the chat a Google form. The Google form is 150% anonymous, okay? Nobody can track your IP address. Nobody can track your email address, nothing. Especially with Google, if you say that it's anonymous, they make sure that it's anonymous. So I have an anonymous form here for you guys. And I want to just basically know what you guys, any questions that you guys have that you don't really feel comfortable putting in the chat. Like if I was at junior high, I'd be like, I would not feel comfortable putting my questions that I have that I've never asked anybody. Like I don't even ask my parents, and you want me to put it in the chat with all my friends? I'd be like, yeah, nah. But I want you guys to put it in this anonymous form. And what we're going to do is Pastor O'Shea and I are going to take a look at it this week, and we'll keep it open all week. So if you have questions throughout the week, you can keep populating, and you can do it more than once. You don't only have to put one question. And then we're going to answer them. So be as honest as you want. Don't get dirty, but if you have an honest question, then you can do it. What if we don't have questions? Great. If you don't have questions, you don't need to use a survey. That's fine. If you don't have questions and you know everything that there is to know, or you feel like you know enough, then it's all good. But this is a way for people, because I'm telling you right now, as a junior high grade 6, grade 7 girl, when I was in junior high, I had questions that I wouldn't dare speak. I was not about to speak them to my mom, to my leaders, to my friend. First of all, I wouldn't speak them to my friends because I was like, what if my friends think what if my friends know this stuff and I don't? And they're going to be like, what, Stephanie? How do you not know this? And then I'm like, I'm not going to ask my mom because my mom's going to be like, what are you talking about? So anyways, here we go. Here's the form. You guys can use it now. You guys can use it later. Y'all can use it whenever you'd like, but click it and you can ask the questions as many times as you can ask questions as many times as you want. I think there's 3 questions on there. What are some questions that you have about sex, relationship, God, and how to keep our body pure? What are some questions that you think junior highs have? And would you want to talk about this stuff more? So it's up to you. Can we play Kahoot later? Question mark. They don't even care about the survey. It's hilarious. I don't know. Can they play Kahoot later? Pastor O'Shea's here, which is crazy because I literally thought I was going to be here for a minute. So here, hold on. Let me put my mouse on.
We can play Kahoot
on
Wednesday.
My teacher had a big pee box.
I don't got a Kahoot off the top of my head right now, but on Wednesday I got you.
Please say no, I can't do Kahoot. Aren't you guys tired of Kahoot? I feel like that's what everybody plays.
Yo, so they were telling me last week, that's how they study for tests.
Oh.
That's how they do test reviews at school.
Yo, that's genius.
Yo, I was thinking the same thing. I was like,
because I wouldn't want to fail. Like I don't want to lose a Kahoot game. You
I
know,
would
if I'm
have done
playing.
that all the time.
Right? Wow, that's really good.
I would have went to school.
Wow. Yeah, I would have went to school. Guys, before an icebreaker question, I want to actually know what you guys think in junior high because I have a idea, but I want to know what you guys think. What is the perfect, quote unquote, the perfect couple that you see on social media or like a friend or like in a movie? What about for you? Can you think of any?
The perfect couple.
Like when you look at them, you're like, oh wow, they look like they really got everything together.
Yo, Pastor Keys.
Alive? Yo, Pastor Keys, man. Every time I see it, like his relationship too with his wife, I'm just like, wow.
I'm like that.
Yeah, that's a good one. Actually, that's a really good one. I have a friend. They're kind of friends. They're kind of mentors. I sure won't answer this. Why?
Why not?
Why not?
We use Kaboom for studying.
What's Kaboom?
It's probably like Kahoot.
Kahoot, like for studying.
It's the school version, right?
Yeah. Do books count? 100%. Books count. Yes. Yeah. That's a good one. I have like a mentor couple that I kind of know through another friend, and they're interior designers. They're like on this talk show. They like are so fashion forward. I look at them and I'm like, wow, y'all are goals.
You'll get there.
Thank you. Don't say anything else. Just end it there. Okay?
Yeah, you'll get there.
Don't say anything else. I don't know. Celebrity couples date. Well, honestly, okay. There's no such thing as a perfect couple. I know there's no such thing as a perfect couple, but if you're like watching TV or like a celebrity, like, I don't know. Do you think like Kanye West and Kim K are? No, I know, right? But like, or I don't know. Is there someone on anime? Is there a couple in anime that you're like, wow, y'all have it together?
No.
Okay. Tamara, what book were you thinking? Tamara, Percy Jackson and Annabeth. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I know exactly the couple that you're talking about.
I don't. No, because they about to get divorces.
She's talking about Kim Lane.
Yeah. That's why I went like this. So I was like,
I know. Who's that? Gone and
Kilo. That's like a friendship. It's from Hunter x Hunter.
Okay.
So are we counting friendship?
Do ships count? What's a ship?
It's like when you like obsess over like an anime character.
A ship?
I think she might have mispronounced it or misspelled it.
Okay, a ship counts. Sure.
No, you sure?
She says, "Does it count?"
Yeah, but.
Plus, they got a whole lot of kids.
And they're totally mushy.
There's. Who's totally mushy? Oh.
The person
X this person.
Hunter. Yeah.
It's not just anime relationships. Yeah. Like a relationship, anything. Yeah. I also follow this blogging couple who like they're like goals. But I think they're goals because they're really honest about their relationship. Like they just like straight up are like, we don't have it all together. But they kind of look like they have it together. Yeah. So, it's hard. Anyways, you guys make sure if you're just jumping on.
How do you guys all know that you guys are
Arwen and yes, Lord of the Rings, Piper. Yeah, that's a good one. They do seem like a perfect couple. Except like they got their troubles.
What about Zac Efron and what's her name?
Vanessa Hudgens from High School Musical. Oh, that was a good bro. Oh, when I was a teen, I was like, wow, where's Troy in my life? But they gotta go their own way. They have to separate.
Is that the one where she's singing in the rain?
I think so. Yeah. Oh gosh. Also from Lord of the Rings, yeah, Piper. Wow, she's got all the Piper reference. All the Lord of the Rings references. I
don't read big books.
You could watch the movie. Yeah. Oh, I don't know those people. Crookstar and Willowshine. Who are they? What book are they from? The Lord of the Rings. Tamara,
Luke and Julie from Julie and the Phantoms.
Okay.
What about?
Nice. I don't know all these couples. I want to read these books so I know.
What about what's dang it?
Hunger Games, Peeta and Katniss. Oh.
Were they a couple though?
Well, I don't want to ruin it for some people because I actually know if a Yumi's on here, I know that she's reading those books. So From a warrior series. Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Oh.
Well, yeah, all right, cool. I don't know what you want to do now. That was just a question I just wanted to ask.
That was the icebreaker
That was
question.
the icebreaker question.
So we don't get into it with the video.
Yeah, guys, don't forget there's the survey. I'm gonna put it in here again.
We want to answer those questions.
Use it. It's completely anonymous. We want to know what you guys are talking about and what you guys are honestly thinking, because we want to make sure that you feel like this is a safe place. And some of you don't want to talk to your parents about this stuff, and I don't blame you. I didn't talk to my parents about it.
I still don't.
Right? I still don't. But I wish I had someone that was a little bit older that I could have actually just talked to. So, yeah, cool.
Well, let's get awkward.
Woo!
See what I did there?
I mean, like I'm done reading.
What's up, everybody? I'm Tyler, and I'm not going to mess around here. I'm just going to jump into it. How does the idea of talking about dating sound to you? Now, I guess it probably depends, doesn't it? It depends on who you're talking about dating with. Like, talking about your crush with your friends, not that big of a deal. It's like, who do you like? I'm not going to tell you. Like, that's no problem. Talking or writing about dating in your journal doesn't seem too risky. You can't see that. Now, but talking to your parents or your group leader here at church, whoa, pause. What? Now, to some of you, that right there, that might sound super awkward. Or honestly, maybe for you, it doesn't seem that awkward. It's no big deal, in which case, very good. But here's my point. But really, no matter how you feel about it, I think talking about dating, sex, sexual desires, and all the stuff that comes with it is too important to just skip over. I know that not everyone is allowed to date yet, and I know that not everyone wants to date yet, but I think it's important to have conversations like this one here at church, because I want the best for you in all things, including dating. And I also know that what's best for you when it comes to dating can be really difficult to figure out. We see movies, TV shows, and influencer couples that give us these like too good to be true images of dating and relationships all the time. But here's the thing, dating and relationships aren't always picture perfect. You actually might have experienced this in your own relationships, or you just noticed it in the adult relationships around you. They can be like awkward or frustrating or disappointing, confusing, messy, or just weird. The truth is that relationships can be less than perfect sometimes. I'd guess you could probably talk to almost any adult or older teenager in your life who has their own less than perfect dating story. And that's because dating just has the potential to be awkward. But knowing that, many of us still probably have an idea of what we hope a dating relationship might be like. Maybe right now we feel like we're ready to date, but we aren't allowed yet. Or maybe dating is all our friends seem to be talking about, but we just don't really care that much. Maybe we want to date somebody, but no one has seemed to notice us yet. Or maybe we've just started dating for the first time. When we think about dating, we tend to focus a lot on what we want the relationship to look like. We think about who we want to date, what we want the relationship to be like, and all the kind of stuff that we would want to do together. And while all of that stuff is definitely important to consider, I think when it comes to talking about dating and relationships, we often forget to ask what we should be focusing on before we even start dating. It's important because this answer impacts what dating looks like for us and even who we choose to date. Look, if you're even thinking, this is deep and all, but I'm not even trying to date right now, I get it. But it's an important question for us to ask because I think we're laying the foundation for our future relationships right now. So even if you're not dating or not interested in dating right now, understanding what we should be thinking about when it comes to relationships and dating is important. So when it comes to dating relationships, where do we look for help? How can we make sure we're focusing on the right things when it comes to dating both now and in the future? Well, there's actually some pretty old advice that might be helpful for us today. A couple thousand years ago, a guy named Paul wrote a letter to the Christians in a town called Corinth. Now, Paul was a guy whose life had been completely changed by Jesus. After encountering him, Paul started sharing the message of Jesus with people all over the world. And one of the places Paul went to spread this message was Corinth. After he'd spent time in the city, Paul wrote the people there a message to remind them of what God says is best for them. In this first letter to the Corinthians, Paul included a couple of sentences that can help us here and now. In fact, I think it's exactly the kind of stuff we should think about when it comes to dating and relationships. Check this out. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. It does not demand its own way. It is not irritable, and it keeps no record of being wronged. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance. So here, Paul listed what God says love actually looks like. Patient, kind, faithful, hopeful, lasting. When we think of that kind of love, isn't it exactly what we want other people to give us? I mean, honestly, don't we usually think about the type of love Paul mentioned as being about the other person in a relationship? Like, we want them to be patient. We'd like them to be kind. We hope they're faithful. But when we read a list like this, we usually see it as a long list of the things we want to find in the person we're dating. And to be clear, that's not bad at all. God does want us to have this kind of love in all of our relationships. He wants us to look for these types of characteristics in other people when it comes to everything from friendships to dating. But we shouldn't just look for them in other people. Instead of focusing on finding all this great stuff in other people, we need to stop and look at ourselves. We need to consider if we're that kind of person as well. Becoming the person God made us to be is so important. And a huge part of that is allowing God to develop all the characteristics on Paul's list in ourselves. What Paul wrote about 2,000 years ago is still what our lives and our love should be made of today. No matter if you choose to date or not, one step you can take toward becoming the person God created you to be is to practice sexual integrity. Basically, that means choosing to respond to the sexual things we feel, think, and desire in a way that respects ourselves, others, and God. Dating may be a very real way for you to learn to live out the important characteristics Paul wrote about. But you don't have to wait until you start dating to practice sexual integrity or to learn to live out these important characteristics. In fact, we actually need to put these characteristics into practice before we even think about dating someone else. Think about it like this. Focus on becoming love before looking for love. So I don't know where you are with all this dating stuff. Maybe you're already dating or you're not allowed to date. Maybe you're waiting to date someone or you're just not ready or interested at all. Now, that's all okay. Wherever you are, you have the opportunity right now to live out the characteristics of love that Paul wrote about in his letter to the Corinthians. The reality is that God has given us all the power we need to become the type of people he wants us to be. So instead of using dating as a way to look for like the right person, let's focus on developing the characteristics of love that Paul listed for us. Let's focus on becoming love before looking for love. So, okay, how can we do this? First, pick one, just one, of the characteristics on Paul's list that you want to develop in yourself. Maybe you could use more patience, or you'd like to be quicker to forgive, or you want to cut back on those rude comments you make about the people you care about the most. But what if you just started by picking just one characteristic in yourself that you'd like to grow? Then practice what you pick. Seriously. If you have a tendency to be rude to those you love, practice giving compliments to them on purpose instead. Or if you tend to be impatient, practice being patient in your responses to people this week. Or instead of holding a grudge, practice bringing up and talking through something that hurts your feelings. Now, none of this is easy, not easy. That's okay, because all of it can be so good. Real love takes a ton of work. And if we're gonna become love before looking for love, we're gonna need to focus on growing the characteristics necessary to be the type of person we would wanna date. A person who is kind, patient, honest, humble, hopeful, and all of the other things that Paul mentioned. Dating can definitely be awkward, but it won't always be that way. And when you choose to focus on the stuff that's important before you start dating, you're taking a step in the right direction. When you develop the characteristics God wants you to have and treat the other person the way he created you to, it can help you practice sexual integrity both now and in future relationships. Just imagine if for you, dating could be a really positive experience for you and the person you're dating. Even if you're not dating yet, what if focusing on becoming the loving person God created you to be could set you up for a better dating life if and when that day comes? Imagine if choosing to focus on becoming love before looking for love sets you up to have the best dating life possible. I know it might feel early to talk about dating for some of you, but it's never too early to become the person that God created you to be. That's why we've spent the last 4 weeks talking about sex and sexual desires here at church. And even though those topics can be awkward to talk about, I really believe they are important conversations we need to have, especially in middle school. And we don't want the conversation just to stop here. That's why you have your group leader and your group. Today, I want you to keep the conversation about dating going with your group. If nothing else, you can encourage each other to build characteristics that help you grow in love with each other. I think that's a pretty cool place to start.
Well. Talked about relationships. We talked about focus on becoming love rather than looking for love. And I know it's awkward. You don't want to keep the conversation. I know it's awkward. It's unpleasant. It's not the nicest. But. The reality is this is something that you might not be personally going through, but like we've been talking about this whole series, it could be you, it could be a friend, it could be someone you're close to, but trust me, they don't make these videos and they don't send it out, and all of that, the production, all of that doesn't go through these videos because nobody's going through it. This is a big thing that's happening with junior highs, unfortunately, and we gotta touch on it. You feel me? But I'll ask a couple questions and then we'll go into it more a little bit in detail on Wednesday, because I feel like the conversation will be different if it's face to face, if you're there, opposed to just seeing me and going in on a chat box. And I feel like I know the answer to this question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how awkward is it talking about dating? Okay? How awkward is it talking about dating? Because, like, I know for me, it was super awkward at your age. And, like, I feel like I only dated, like, 2 or 3 people. But I would hide who I was dating. Like, I wouldn't have that conversation. And, like, it came up one time and it was super awkward to have that conversation. But some of you guys said 10, 7, 10, 6, 6, 5 to 10, 10, 100, a lot, 10, 10, 8, 6, 10, 8, 11, a big number, over the limit, 5, 9, depends on who I'm talking to, 6, 5, 6, 4, 6 to 5, a lot of 9s, 11. So yeah, I figured the answer was going to be that it's super awkward. But here's the big but. Friends, 0, family, 100. Yeah, it's awkward. You'll go to your friends and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I like this person. But you won't tell your parents that. And it's understandable. So with that being said, I really want to stress, guys. I really want to stress and take the last moment of this time together and really stress that survey. And I want you guys, if there's any questions that you have, even if you think it might be a goofy question or you think it might be a question that's not supposed to be asked at church, we want to help you guys, because you guys might be thinking about those. Wow, I don't know. You guys might be thinking about those things, and we don't want to leave you high and dry. So please, if you have any questions about the subject, and I pinky promise, okay? Pinky promise that if you guys ask the questions, regardless, if you ask or not, if you don't ask the questions, this is the thing. If you don't ask the questions, then I'm going to have to Google frequently asked questions by junior highs about sex and dating. And trust me, we don't want that broad scope. We want your problems. You feel me? Because next week we're going to be answering questions, and then it'll be the last week that we talk about this subject. So that's what I can promise you, is that this will be the last week. Next week will be the last week that we talk about sex and dating for now. Okay? So that is the promise. You guys gotta throw in your questions in that, or I gotta Google top 10 ask questions and we're gonna go through that. But thank you guys for always leaning in and always willing to have these conversations, no matter how awkward they are. I don't know how you spell a lot of things. Don't worry, I'm a horrible speller, so I am really good at looking at words that aren't spelled properly and knowing what they mean. But it's been amazing to spend some time with you guys. I'm going to pray, and then you guys are free to go. Well, dear God, I thank you so much, Lord, that we are in a safe place. Wow, God, I know you're laughing. God, that we're in a safe space where we can talk about these things and grow and learn, Lord. And no matter how awkward the conversation is, God, I know that we got to have it, Father. So, Lord, I just pray, Lord, that you would just guide our discussions, Lord. And if any student here is a little bit nervous about asking a question in that survey, Lord, I just pray, Lord, that they would feel eased, Lord, that if they're asking the question, there's someone out there that also wants to know the answer, Father. So, Lord, I just pray, Lord, that they would have the courage to ask, Lord, so that we can address the concerns or questions that our students have next week. Lord, I pray, Lord, that they would have a great week at school, that they would learn lots of things and do lots of things and have fun, Father. So we thank you for this now in your name. Amen. Amen, amen, amen. We're doing SLT. That is great. So, guys, don't forget, Wednesday, we are going to meet. You don't want to forget, but it's been great. Have a wonderful Sunday.